Hello, beloved. It's time for us to take time to listen for Spirit in our lives. We can do that in so many different ways, but one way that we have found that's helpful, that we have borrowed from our ancestors in the faith, is sacred reading. Choosing a text, a sacred text, and reading from that text, letting the words breathe into us new life, new ways of seeing, new ways of hearing, inviting us to be in this moment, ready to hear what Spirit may say to us. And so I encourage you to take a moment to sort of catch your breath. Perhaps you pay attention to your own breathing, and as you do, let yourself sink into this moment and be ready to hear with the ears, not only of your head, but of your heart. What might Spirit be saying to you that you need to hear right now? Not just what the letter we're reading from today, the first letter of John, might have said to people in the first or second centuries, but what does it say to you, to me, today? Now, our pattern for doing this sacred reading together every week is to try to keep it relatively short. When I do sacred reading by myself, I read the text out loud 3 times with a pause in between, listening for the echoes, for the image, for the word or phrase that really speaks something that perhaps I need to hear today. Sometimes I walk away pondering how that is going to apply or affect me in this moment, in this space I'm in. However, when we do it together, I simply read the text once out loud, take a pause. If you want to cut away at that pause, go right ahead and go and ponder what it may mean for you. You could go and read it to yourself out loud. That's another thing you could do. Or you could hang on, and after a pause, I will share with you what spoke to me in that moment. I haven't read today's text. I always try to come to it fresh when I join you, so I will hear it afresh. What it might have said to me 15 minutes ago may not be what it says to me right now, because I may need to hear something else. So listen with me. Today we are reading from 1 John chapter 5. We're in the last chapter, chapter 5, verses 6 through 8. Let's listen together for a word from the Spirit. Jesus is the one who came through water and blood, the chosen one. He did not come by water only, but by both water and blood. It is the Holy Spirit who tells us that this is true, for the Spirit himself is the truth. So then, we have 3 who witness to this truth: the Spirit, the water, and the blood, and these 3 are in harmony. Well, there were a number of images that really spoke to me today. One is witness, someone who can speak to a true experience, a personal experience of the eternal. The text lists 3 witnesses: water, blood, and spirit, spirit being the truth. But what this text alludes for me, or what speaks for me, is witnessing, experiencing, knowing that God is real, not just because someone else says it to me, not just because I read it, even in this sacred text, but I have witnessed and experienced firsthand this spirit movement in my life. Sometimes it feels a little bit like synchronous events coming together. Sometimes it feels like serendipity. Sometimes it feels like the wind on my face. Wind, breath, spirit are all three, while there are three English words for it, they're all the way we could translate the word for spirit. When I feel the breeze on my face, and know, as I sit every morning in centering prayer and meditation, the true presence of the eternal, of love in this moment. It's a real experience. I am a witness. I don't just expound on other people who have witnessed this experience, but have experienced it myself. And that experience has changed me. It has changed me from the inside out and back again from the outside in. I am convinced that we are meant to experience firsthand God's presence, divine love in every moment of our lives, if we can be awake to that moment and engaged in that moment. That's what I heard, is this call to be witnesses. We know that Jesus is Jesus by these three witnesses that the writer has lifted up to us: by water, by blood, by spirit. Perhaps water is the water of baptism, the water of the womb. Perhaps blood is his flesh and bone and body. Blood is the humanity of this Jesus, and then the truth that's spoken to us in ways beyond our capability, spirit. But in the end, they're witnesses to something, personal, firsthand witnesses in the way that we are meant to be as well. Perhaps you're not one. Perhaps you haven't experienced this firsthand experience of the eternal. Perhaps it's something you can pray for, perhaps something you may never experience, or perhaps something you've already experienced many times and just not recognized it for what it was. I don't know the answer for you, but I know the answer for me is to be reminded that I have experienced love, truth, this reality that is available to us directly in God's presence. So remember today and all days that you are infinitely precious and unconditionally loved for the gift you already are, that you are part of the presence of God in everyday life. You are not God, but you're not other than God, because God dwells in, around, above, and through you in this universe, all at the same time. So go in peace this day, and may you find for yourself the opportunity to witness this truth in your own life, the firsthand experience of God's eternal love for you. Until the next time.